I'm disappointed that we came out flat in both. We picked our moments to fight, but we have to fight from point one. It's not that we played poorly, it's just that we didn't play to our potential. And these two matches were definitely the chance that or the opportunity to play to our potential. So it's disappointing that we didn't quite show up. I'll take that on me for not preparing them maybe adequately enough in practice. But we've had a couple of good team talks since the Northern match, and we've had some time together off the court to kind of figure ourselves out. So we have an opportunity this weekend at crossover with some teams that we're not very familiar with to really rebound and make a statement. And our goal is to rebound for the second half of season. Yeah, Maddie Torla has really, come into her own in these last couple of weeks here. Her ability to adapt on the fly is amazing. If you would look at her shot selection or her array of shots and where she's scoring or even disrupting, it is all over the place. A lot of people have tendencies, maybe someone likes cross, likes line, something like that. She has every shot in the book, and then the lefty factor just makes it a different look that a lot of teams aren't used to seeing. Her height obviously helps as well, but she's got a really nice mix of hard-driven shots to off-speed to line, cross, everything in the middle. So she's doing a really good job of adapting to whatever the situation is giving her. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago of, entering each attempt with an open mind and just finding what's available. So similar to a quarterback dropping back and doing the check down real quick of okay, which man is covered, what's available, what's over here. Same thing with attacking. Maybe you have an idea you'd love to go cross on this next swing, but then the block is there. So her ability to adapt in real time in that fraction of a second that she has to make a decision has been really impressive. And yeah, she's, like I said, she's got a great range of shots, and I'm hoping that she can keep it up. Absolutely. Probably a blessing actually that she doesn't have any preconceptions of what's going on. That's not to say she's not an intelligent player. She certainly is. But she's learning a lot. And by getting this playing experience and all that, it's wonderful for her. So we're very proud of her. Off the court, she's also stepping up as a leader. She's saying the right things in the huddle. She's not afraid to speak up when needed. She's providing so much, and she gets along well with everybody. She's a lighthearted person off the court. So yeah, she's just great all around. I think it was all on us on that one. I'm not really sure why, but Rachel kind of came out flat against Purdue. There was she hit 0 in the first set. That's not going to get it done against anybody, So, yeah, and there was a couple instances where there were some hesitation balls, like a you go, I go, and then it ends up just kind of muffing. That happened in the Northern match too, and we can't have that. These girls have been playing for so long and for so long together. The hesitation piece permeates. If one person hesitates, then it starts to get contagious and all around. So, I just felt like it wasn't her day. So I gave Brooke a shot and gave Jackie a shot too. But yeah, she's going to have to rebound, and we'll see where she fits in coming in this weekend. Not concerning, no. I think she'll be fine. I think it's good once in a while to get a kick in the rear and a little bit of a reality check and understand that, no one is impervious to, the bench, essentially. I hate to put it that bluntly, but, I think we have to understand that you have to perform every single match, and no one is immune to that. No one is a superstar on our team that's that way. So, yeah, I hope that it served as a little bit of get up and go for her, and that she can be able to rebound. Yeah, Jackie's still working through the consistency piece, as we all are. She's got moments of brilliance where she can completely take over and score at will, and then she'll go through periods where it's just really difficult or whatever it is. So, she's still kind of working through it and trying to get her mental game right, in the sense of being able to take on so many serving attempts at her, so many sets to her. And then a lot of times outside hitters get what we call just the junk balls because, they're the outlet. Middles get more the better passes and things like that. So the setters get them in better spots, but outsides get a lot of junk. That's not a knock on our setters at all. That's across the sport, if that's what it's called. But yeah, so she's working on being more consistent, and yeah, we're working on it every day in practice. Yeah, we told the girls going into it that, Northern wants to beat you more than any other team in this conference. So we have to show up. And it's unfortunate that we didn't quite show up the way that was needed to keep them at arm's distance. But yeah, Northern played well that night. They really showed up. They rose to the occasion. That freshman had a really nice night for them. And then we also made it, I'm not discounting them at all, I promise, but we also made their life pretty easy by just hitting at their libero every single time. And I don't know how many times we had to call a timeout and tell them to try other shots. And it still wasn't happening. So, that's frustrating from a coaching standpoint where, you can give as many cues as you want. But we ultimately have no control over what the athlete's actually going to do. But that is where, going back to what Maddie Torla does well, she can change up her shots. She can go different places. She understands that if this isn't open, then I'll find another way, a different way. So, our players as a whole need to be way more resilient and way more creative and available to use all the tools in their toolbox rather than just, keep beating the same shot with no results. For sure. It's been an interesting week. Not necessarily difficult, just interesting. But again, we had many, many opportunities at Purdue to play ourselves, be the best versions of ourselves, and we just simply didn't do it for a sustained amount of time. It's not that we weren't fighting, it's that we weren't necessarily executing when it mattered. If you look at all the scores, they were all pretty tight. But as soon as it got to be in the 20s, 2020 and above, we would clam up and make some uncharacteristic errors. So we're working on that in practice with way more pressure situations, being comfortable in pressure and, in fact, trying to thrive in pressure. I know the public doesn't have access to this stat, but, we're passing very well, generally speaking. Like a 2.0 on a 3-point scale is good. But if you look at our passing after 20 points, it drops about 5 points. So we're at a 1.5 or a 1.6. That tells me that they're nervous and that they're nervous to win or nervous to just, go for it in the final parts of the set. So we're really working on finishing strong and proving it, when we get to the end part of the set. Yeah, the crossover tournament is a very interesting one. It is completely unique in the sense that there are 9 matches going on at the same time, and 3 conferences are represented. So every team in those conferences, are going to be there. So it's a chaotic event. There's just so many people mulling around the facility. The facility is beautiful, and they do a very good job of hosting it. But it's very unique in that, you can look any direction and you see a bunch of other matches going on when usually you're the only match going. So the environment itself presents a level of difficulty that's just different. And it's very similar to club tournaments that the student athletes used to do in high school. But yeah, looking specifically at the teams, Indy and ODU are both on 6-match win streaks. They're doing pretty well right now. We've just started scouting ODU. We've done a couple of days on Indy. We're going to be challenged for sure, any way you shake it. Both teams seem to be very consistent. They have aggressive setters and good front rows. So yeah, we are practicing quite a bit of things in practice this week, both to focus on our own selves, but also scouting a few things like, defending offensive setters and things like that. So yeah, and then we won't know who we play on Saturday until Friday night because they reseed everybody. We squeaked into the top 6 of our conference, so I'm happy that we're going to be playing in the top portion. But yeah, we have quite the challenge ahead of us, and we really need to rise to the occasion.